Good morning. A long time, I'm not gonna say long time no see because it wasn't that long ago that I made a video. But somebody already was writing on my Facebook and said, "Oh, well, now I want you to make another video because your last video was very good." And I'm like, it wasn't that long ago. Okay, because everybody like for me to talk about the election and Donald Trump. A lot of people are so afraid because they think that Trump is going to be reelected. And I had talked to a good friend of mine today, and he was telling me, "Man, I'm afraid this guy may be reelected." I said, "Let me say this to you, my friend. This guy's not gonna be reelected, okay?" And then I had to explain to him the reason why, and then I'm glad after we finished the phone call, he feel, it's like I lifted a big weight off his back, because deep inside of him he was thinking that there's a good possibility that Donald could be reelected. So my thing was, what I told him, it was that Trump in 2016, when the majority of the country didn't even know him, and everybody thought the man was a successful businessman, he still ended up losing the election to Hillary Clinton in terms of the popular vote by 3 million votes. Okay? Now, you want to tell me 4 years later, now we know about him. He never showed us his income tax. We know he went to bankruptcy 6 times. There's so much we know about Trump. He lied to us every day. And so American people are so smart. And the thing that really bothers me is the fact that people think white people in general are going to vote for Trump because living in this country, everybody is in a different compartment, and black people think all the white people are going to vote for Trump. And this is so wrong because Trump and they are the one who are not going to vote for Trump, and they are the one who are tired of Trump. Okay? So the other group, well, they say, "Oh yeah, because he's putting so much money in the pocket of the rich people." But the rich people in this country only represent 1%. Okay? Even if you go up to 20%. And the thing with Trump is, a lot of people, the reason why I'm not afraid, I know Trump is not going to be reelected. But many people don't see it the way I see it. Because, and I always have to remind them, first of all, in the last election in 2016, people, Trump actually is worth about $2 billion. People thought Trump was such a big businessman that he probably was bigger than Bloomberg, bigger than Bill Gates. Some people did think that. But now most people know what his net worth is. And even the fortune this week, they say that his fortune is down to 800 million because of the pandemic, because of the economic situation of the country. And the fact that he's been such a bad president, all people are boycotting his businesses. So when people are telling you, especially black people, who think that, oh no, all the white people are going to vote for Trump. Let me say something about, okay, this country, the American people are so smart. They are, and I don't care about that color thing. It has nothing to do with color. It's just a country that has it's like, I was surprised when I found out the illiteracy rate. I thought it was more. Because, tell you the truth, I've been in this country since I was 16 years old. Okay? And I think it's probably once or twice in my entire time in this country, so 47 years in this country, that I run into somebody who was illiterate. And I'm always experimenting with the technology. And I was like, "Alexa, what is the illiteracy rate in the United States?"
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, in the U.S., 14% of the adult population is at the below basic level for prose literacy, 12% are at the below basic level for document literacy, and 22% are at that level for quantitative literacy.
Okay, to me, this number is high. I thought it was way less than that. But still, let me say this to you. The thing with Trump is that a lot of people you think, and even Trump probably think that going to vote for him are not going to vote for him. Okay? And they are not, and if you go with the poll, it's a bunch of lie. I don't even believe in the poll, knowing that there's so much peer pressure. I saw a guy this morning. I was looking at NBC, and this Indian guy, he's an American Indian, not American Indian like Native American. He's a guy from India, the real Indian. And he's an American, but he's also American. Just like Will Know, he's a Haitian American. This guy is an Indian American. And they ask him, why would you vote for Trump? He said, okay, I'm the kind of guy, I vote with my party. And as a Republican, I would vote for Mr. Trump because Mr. Trump is good for the economy and Mr. Trump create a lot of jobs. Which is so false. And I could say to myself that what he's saying, he probably got it from listening to a whole lot of Fox News. But then again, I said to myself, I don't even think when this guy pulled the curtain, he's really going to vote for Trump. Because the reality is, he's not. But he's saying it because he lives in a white neighborhood and his boss is a Trump supporter. He probably live around a bunch of people that are Trump supporters. And he knows if he talk bad about Trump, those people are going to be mad at him. Because this man is going to vote for Biden because Kamala Harris' mother is from India. And believe me, if she was from Haiti, I would vote for her. In fact, I would vote for her because her father is from Jamaica, which is next door to Haiti. That alone probably would have forced me to vote for her. And I know a lot of people, that's how they vote. But they're going to tell you, oh no, I'm voting for Trump. But when they pull that curtain, then they're going to vote. Because the problem you have with Trump is, and you live in, many people, they live in an area where so many Trump supporters. A friend of mine told me he was driving to West Virginia. In West Virginia, and that was like 2016. And every house had an American flag, and it was like, make America great again. Everybody, and he said to him, he got scared. He said to me, man, you imagine if I had a flat or my engine or something go wrong. I said, what do you think would happen? He said, man, I wouldn't be comfortable in an area like that. Because Trump is a racist, and all these people who support him, I say, listen, it's not even like that. Because even there's racism in this country, the bad racists, they are a handful. Okay? Let me tell you something. And this is really, this is a problem that I have with a lot of people, and sometimes it's like very intelligent people. Because in a sense, they are prejudiced too. It is some kind of prejudice. Because if you think that all white going to vote for Trump, that's prejudice. It's like you judging these people. And there's so many white people. Let's look at the 2016 election. Trump lost 3 million popular votes. So Trump had already lost that election. The American people had already rejected him, and they didn't even know him. And they had a false sense of who he was back in 2016. But now in 2020, and that's why I could go to sleep and wake up the next day, I know that Biden is going to win. It's going to be a landslide for Biden. And I'm very confident of that. You know why? And you know, because Biden is smart. He's a politician. And you think, I'm a Republican. And I was a Republican before Trump become a Republican, because I've been a Republican all my life. Okay, and I was even a Republican when I was in Haiti, because I remember the first time I read about Abraham Lincoln, and I was in school in Haiti, and it was probably 1966 or 64, and I read about Abraham Lincoln. At that point, I should say that I was whatever party this guy was affiliated with, I was with it. But when I came here in 73 at 16, and then I started really reading about it, and I realized the same Abraham Lincoln that I was in love with was the one who recognized the independence of Haiti. Then there was no doubt in my mind that I was a Republican, even though the Republican Party of Lincoln is probably what the Democratic Party of today is. But when I read the difference between Democrat and Republican, I was a Republican, because I'm for small government. I'm very much, even right now as we speak, for trickle-down economic. I am not a fan of bubble-up economic, which is what the Democrats are for. And a lot of those things that you see, that it's like, I'm so Republican, you would not believe it. But at the same time, there's no way I would vote for Donald Trump. And Biden will do better for the economy, in the same way I did vote for Barack Obama. Barack Obama was my candidate, and he did a very good job pulling this country out of a dark hole. He was handed a country that was in bankruptcy or even more. He saved the auto industry, and I heard Trump say he saved the auto industry. General Motors would not be here if it wasn't for Barack Obama, no doubt. And that's why I cannot go with the party line, because each president, each head of state is different. Has nothing to do with the party. Has to do with their intellectual level. This president we have now is evil. This guy, his dereliction of duty, I mean, my God, this guy is like a pickpocket. Trump is the worst president I ever seen, not only in the United States, but I think probably in first world country. I'm not going to say third world, but I'd say in a first world country. Because for me, the way Trump operates, he's a guy in who's trying to steal an election. He's not doing it when everybody's sleeping. He's actually doing it with the light on during the daytime. And this is the reason why there's no way I could vote for somebody like that. I couldn't, and I don't care if he's, and that's why I don't understand when this Indian brother was saying, I vote with the party line. I know when he go in there to vote, he's not going to vote for Trump, just like I'm not. But he have to say it, because he's not like me. Because me, I could talk to anybody. I'm going to tell you, yes, I'm a Republican, but I'm not voting for Trump. And when you tell me Trump is good, he's good for the economy, he is not. Because for a guy who's a day trader, if you know about the stock market, this week and the week before, those 2 weeks, as soon as the stock market heard about Trump lying, people start pulling their money out, the stock market crashed. That was this week. But you didn't hear him say a word about the S&P or the dot, because it's under the rug with him. And there's another thing he did this week. He attacked the military-industrial complex. Now, I'm watching Trump digging a hole for himself. That is, eventually he's going to be him. And that's what I agree with Biden. So Biden is not out there doing all this campaigning. Just let Trump be out there doing all this talking. Because the more Trump talk, a deeper hole is building for himself. Now, he told you, here's a statement he made this week. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my, I cannot believe Trump would make a stupid statement like that. But when you give him a podium and he see all these people with these red hats, he's not looking at them as probably less than 100,000 people or less than 5,000 people. He's looking at them like, it's like he got the entire world standing there behind him. That's like his own illusion, but he's not facing the reality. And he he said that the members of the militaries, like the soldiers, they're all for him. It's the generals who want to create wars who are against him, because they want to put money in the pocket of all these companies who build those weapon systems that we go to war with. I mean, when I hear a president who's a Republican making a statement like that, I mean, you think that the stock market was bad last week? Wait for this week coming up. Those people, you know what they're going to do? They're going to start pulling their money out just to sink him. They're just going to say, you know what? Let me take my money out of the market, because he loved the market. You see, he's doing the people who were supposed to be on his side. He's attacking them, because what happened is, why did he make such a statement? He made it because this week, it's like everybody's coming out with a book. He got his niece, and everything that Trump ever said since he was a baby all the way till now, somebody is out there with a book. Okay, you have books after books after books. Now we know that he knew all about the virus. And he actually admitted, and it's not like somebody writing it, it's him on tape. So he got to come out there and defend himself and say, oh no, I said that. And somebody called him a liar. He said, oh, I wasn't lying. I was just saving the people. And then he always make a comparison. How many people die in so-and-so country? He changed the conversation. But he's in the process right now of self-destruction to the max. And there's more books. In the next 50-something days coming up before the election, before we start voting, because right now, when it comes to what he was going to do in the post office, seemed like that area okay, it's not going to work. Telling the people to vote twice is not going to work. But the more he make those statements, the smart American people who are watching, he's just turning them off. And some of them could have been people who probably... Now, those people, when he attacked the military-industrial complex, that's his boss. Those are the Guaman, General Dynamics. You take all the big money people, and that's why you see what happened, because now guess what? That's probably why he attacked them, because Biden got more money than he got when it comes in terms of the election. He may have to go to his own pocket or to other money that he had sitting there to campaign, because he already got the memo. He's out. He is out. And that's why I keep telling people, don't be afraid, because Trump is not going to get reelected. And if you think you think all the white people are going to vote for him, that is the most stupid thing to say or to even think of. Because the white people who are the majority of this country did not put him here. He did not win the popular vote in the last election. And that was before they got to know him. And today we know him. We know he's a liar. We know he hate people who serve in the military. That is a big one. Because there's so much information now about Trump. about the military. Him telling his son, if you go in the military, I'm gonna disown you. Standing in the cemetery and saying, why these people die for? They're so stupid. They come here to die for what? Because he didn't go and he never served. And he all of a sudden, and there's more books. All the books who came out already. Look, every week somebody gonna be coming out with more books. And like I said, you know how many people is illiterate? And there's a lot of literate people or people who watch it on television. Those information, they are not vanishing. People are learning and are getting to know Trump every day of the week. And now they're getting to know him. It's like everybody's going to get a PhD on Trump. And that's why I agree with Joe Biden for just keep it low. Just let Trump go into all these different places and everybody's watching him standing in front of Air Force One. Or things that he's doing in the White House. And American people are not stupid. They know a lot of those the campaigning that he's doing are illegal. But in addition to that is, the people are not wearing masks. The people who come to Trump rallies, even now, okay, now we know he noticed the virus is all airborne. Did he tell his supporters to wear masks? Okay. Herman Cain, rest in peace, for following Trump and not wearing a mask. He's dead. I'm sure he did sign a waiver that even if he died, that's his fault. It's not Trump's fault. And basically, you could see it. But now it's no longer a secret. And more people are dying. There's more people dead during the Trump administration than World War II. And the thing that, he's not going to help. Everybody was expecting a stimulus package. And that's another reason why you see the market crash last week and the week before, and it's going to continue crashing. Because the Democrats already put out a stimulus package. But Trump and the Republican, and not only we're going to get rid of Trump, but we're going to get rid of all his people in the Senate. All these Republicans, believe me, they're going to be so weak. And even if Trump was would be reelected, he would have to resign anyway. He would not serve 4 years. But I know he's not going to be reelected. And those Republicans, oh man, watch. Because the American people have been handcuffed. It's like you've been taking this man, it's like being in a car with no shock absorbers. And you're going down a road that is rocky, that is, a real bad country road. And we've been going through that for 4 years. And even all these people you see who's following Trump, believe me, many of them are not going to vote for him. It's all peer pressure. They're there because of their friends. Many of them who don't wear masks, it's all peer pressure. They wish they could wear a mask. But if his brother-in-law, if his cousin, somebody else don't wear it, they feel, and it's like, and they're pressuring them. And the best way you could describe this is if you hear any interview of Michael Cohen, who is his lawyer, and the way he was saying, he explained to you how Trump used to bully him around. And those people, this is exactly what happened. And that's why I could guarantee you, many of those people you see going around after Trump are not going to vote for him when they get a chance to vote. Because the brother-in-law is not going to be there when the curtain is pulled. So the cousin or the neighbor or whoever is the peer pressure that they under is coming from. And that's why I relax. I'm not afraid because I know Trump from day one was going to be a one-day president. And Vladimir Putin is not going to help. Vladimir, believe me, is so smart And I'm sure he learned about so many people who work for Trump and who didn't get paid. People who work in his hotel and all these things. He knows if Trump get elected for the second term, Trump is not gonna care about nobody, because he don't have to worry about running. He's gonna have 4 years in front of him. He's gonna be playing his golf. He's not gonna be taking nobody's phone calls. Okay? It's like if you was working, look at Giuliani. I mean, I don't even have to go too far. Where's Giuliani? And sometimes the thing with Trump is like if you support Trump and you get too zealous and you all over the place, Trump, 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 and you're making a name for yourself and you're getting popular, then he get turned off. He's like, what's up with Giuliani? Now all of a sudden he got all these people behind him. Everybody's Giuliani all day long. They're supposed to be talking about me, not Giuliani. And there was a period that Giuliani was out there like that. Where is he now? He's so deep under the bus, you can't even see him. He's out. And these are people who support Trump. Now, the people who goes to his rallies, okay, why he never said to them, wear a mask, just do me a favor. If he said it, they all would. But he never do it. He would never do it, even though it's only after the election we're going to want to know, because we know already so many people who've been to those rallies who catch the virus, and so many of them dead. But everybody, like I say, it's peer pressure. It's, the information is not out there. But eventually he's going to get to a point where he's going to be so weak. And even those people now, they're going to open their eyes. Because look at it this way. Obama had Obamacare. And Trump just spent 4 years. You know anything about Trump care? Did he make them? Did he? Okay. And many of his supporters, they don't have no dental. Many of his supporters, they can't even afford to buy glasses. Okay, just go and look at those things because they don't wear masks. You see how many of them who have missing teeth. A lot of them, they don't have dental. He's not doing anything for these people. And they love him because what? Meanwhile, his own family is complaining about him. You imagine if I was in the White House, my sisters, even you, anybody, you would have to call the police and throw them out because they would be there every day. How many people in Trump family you see in the White House? And I said it even years ago, even way before his niece and his sister, who was a judge, came out against him. So you're going to tell me you love him and then they criticizing his niece and his family because but Trump stole their inheritance. They don't like him. And that's what he's going to do to you. Your Social Security, okay? Now you're not even able to pay for that sugar diabetes medicine. Okay? And when you get your income tax, he was going to give you a break where you don't have to pay the tax now. But after the election, you're going to have to pay it. So you would... oh, man. That's why I'm confident he's not going to be reelected. Because one thing about this country, even if you didn't read it in a book, you sitting in the bus, somebody's talking about it. It's in the newspaper. All the lies he told, everything else. Okay, you could act like you're going to vote for him. I understand your situation. I'm not even mad. That's why, like, a lot of time I see people on my Facebook and they're trying to, there's a guy, every time you put something negative about Trump, he said, he's going to win with a landslide. But the guy who's saying that, he don't even live in the U.S. He's not voting for him. This is somebody he's watching. He probably was a big fan of The Apprentice. And that's why he's talking like that. But if you living in the United States, and this man for the past 4 years, I don't care how dumb and stupid you are, yes, you know there's no way you could go for another 4 years. Because you cannot open your TV, you cannot open the radio. He's all over the place. And after a while, you're sick of it. Okay? He's overexposed. And that's the thing with Biden. Biden, that's what I love about him. Because when Trump is out there traveling all over the place in North Carolina, he's everywhere, Biden is doing his thing on Zoom. And he reach more people with less effort. And he got the press coverage, he got everything, because he's not doing a whole lot of talking. And as soon as he opened his mouth, everybody want to hear him. Trump could be yelling all over the place. Even if it's all is blasting everywhere, you don't even, it's like so many people are turned off. They don't even want to hear it. It's like, what else is new? I know his bed already. I bet you're going to tell me he is. All I have to do is when I go vote, I'm not going to vote for him. And this is what I expect the American people will do. In the notion that he's counting on people that are racist to vote for him, even the racists are not stupid. Because when you're going to tell him you for the Confederacy, the Confederate flag, the Confederate statue, but he knows you are a Northerner, how did you fit in? I mean, even if the person was stupid, the only thing you probably have in common with a racist is that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they hate black people, they hate Hispanic, they hate Muslim. Okay, you do the same. You see it the same way. That's how you feel. Okay, we have that in common. But what have you done for me lately? Okay, what happened to my medical? Why my income tax have to pay all these taxes when the rich people are not paying any? That's how they see it. That's the reality. Because during Trump, so many people, even his fans, when they got during income tax, they were looking at this thing. Oh my goodness, I have to pay. That's Trump feel. The same thing, you got the stimulus check, which was totally from the Democrats, because that's what they do good. Trump sent a letter telling everybody that let me see if I see my letter. I want to show you. I'm sure a lot of you received it. Oh no, that's not it. But anyway, he signed it talking about, I give you all this money. Trump, it's not your money, man. This is money people work for, they pay their taxes. And till now, we don't even know, because according to the people who know Trump, they say for the past 40 years, Trump haven't been paying the taxes that he was supposed to pay. And that's why he's not showing his income tax. Okay? So if they're lying, Trump, you could come out and show everybody your W-2. But I believe them. Because there's no way most billionaires, it's like their diploma. What is your net worth? They're showing it to you, not Trump. Because he's not as rich as he pretend to be. And his credit is so bad, not even a bank, maybe even the dog of a banker didn't want to lend him any money. He had to go to Russia to get money out of this country. And the New York society, the high society, the rich, they don't want nothing to do with him when he was president, when he was a businessman. Because they knew already that he was a liar. I remember Leona Helmsley did an interview with Ted Koppel. And she said, somebody said, this is what Trump said, that she was mean. She said, man, tell me anything anybody else say. Because if I wouldn't believe a thing Donald Trump said, even if his tongue was notarized. So the high rich society of New York knew all about Trump already. Okay? So we didn't know, but they did. And for the past 4 years, he's been putting a lot of money in their pockets with the tax break and everything else. Okay, I don't have a problem with that because I know they're going to create jobs, they're going to do different things. So when Trump say, I'm going to create a job, he's not creating a job. And that's another thing I see people say, oh, I support Trump because he's good for the economy. My friend, Trump is so good for the economy. He started a war. He started with a war, a Cold War with China. Do you know the population of China? He said he's gonna bring the jobs back from China to the United States. This week, Apple, because they are from China. If you have an iPhone, it's from China. That's where they built them. If you have an Android, it's from China. That's where they built. Okay? Anything electronic you have are built in China. And they didn't stop. Okay? So if Trump is telling you that he's bringing jobs from China, he's lying like the rug that's on top of his head. Because it's not happening. Because let me tell you, one of the biggest, Tesla, during Trump administration, built a mega factory in China while Trump is in the White House. And I could tell you any name of company who always was doing business with China is still doing it. Now show me the job that he bring in from there. Zero. As a matter of fact, because of his mishandling of the coronavirus, we lost 40 million jobs. And every time that the people who create the jobs are the capitalists, are the people at the head of those corporations, Microsoft, Amazon, eBay, those guys, they're the one creating the job, not Trump. Zoom, they're bringing you the technology where you could sit there just like I'm sitting here and working and doing your thing. Okay, you're going to tell me you give that credit to Trump? How is that possible? 40 million people is out of work because of his mishandling of the economy, of the virus. And as we speak, Trump is telling you black people is moving to your white neighborhood in the suburb, but he's not saying a word about the virus. Because as far as Trump is concerned, the virus is a hoax. Now tell me I'm wrong. I hope he's watching this so he could tell me, okay, you're wrong. That's not what. Yeah, but that's exactly the point. The virus, as far as Trump is concerned, and he's telling you, oh, we turned the corner. We did this. We did. Okay, we're coming out with a my favorite one, he got one about there's going to be a good vaccine coming out a week before the election. It's not even out yet, but he already knows that it's going to be good. And if you say anything, it's not going to happen. Dr. Fauci, everybody, even the companies that, okay, even, oh man, even the companies who's supposed to be doing they're even themselves right now, they're saying, not me. I don't know, we're not coming out with no vaccine anytime soon because it's going to take a year. But he wants you to think before the election, and he will come out and he will say, okay, we got one. Just like he came out and told you Xerox was good, Clorox was good for you. And he's going to come and do it because he figured whenever, because he's a bully. He think that the people are afraid of him. And that's what get on my nerve. Because a lot of people that I talk to, or they'll call me and say, okay, listen, man, I think all the white people are going to vote for Trump. I say, man, I'm counting on the white people because they're the one who's not going to vote for Trump. Because they're the one who are the smart ones. Okay? You know the white population of America? Or because, okay, Alexa, what is the white population of America?
The United States white population is 196,817,552.
You heard that? What is, Alexa, what is the Hispanic population of the United States?
As of 2016, the Hispanic population of the United States was 55,199,107, which is about 17.3% of the total population.
Alexa, what is the black population of the United States of America?
The United States black population is 37,685,848. Did that answer your question?
Definitely. I thank you very much. You are the best.
Thanks for your feedback.
I wish I could give you a kiss. Okay. So, you heard it. Now, let me tell you something. You heard the population? Now, let's compare this. Alexa, how many people in the United States are in prison?
The United States currently holds over 1.5 million people in federal and state prisons. The U.S. incarcerates 716 people for every 100,000 residents and has an incarceration rate more than 5 times higher than most other countries in the world.
Okay, but the percentage is so low. You know my point with that is, now that you know the population and you know how many people are in jail, I want to tell you that the bed, because the one that are in jail, that doesn't mean they're all guilty, because there's a lot of good people in jail. But probably a high percentage, maybe 80% are guilty. Okay. This election coming up is about good and evil. I believe there's the good people, because you're talking about 337 million people is the population. So you have 1.9 million people in jail. Okay? So, there's way more good people than bad people. Okay, the bad people, they're small, they're like a handful. So if the majority of the people in the United States are good people, it means that Trump is part of the bad ones. And believe me, Trump, if you're listening, you are part of the bad people. Because you run your administration like a crime family. Even though, as a New Yorker, I must tell you, I think John Gotti would have been a better president than you. Because he would probably be nicer to Mexican. He would never call all Mexican rapists. He would not be going around and he would not treat black people like you do. Even though he's a gangster. And people call their dogs Gotti. And this is not a joke. He was. But this is a man, and people, if you ever see him going to court or doing his thing, stopping and shaking people's hand, and he show you respect. This is not Trump. So, look, I don't care. I know he's a bad guy, and a lot of people. But I think he probably, if he was elected president, he would have been a better president than Trump. No doubt in my mind. He probably could sit down and listen, because the job that he was doing as a gangster is listen to all his conciliary, something that Trump can't do. Trump don't think, no, you could give him Trump think he knows everything. Al Walker is the weatherman. He tells you that the hurricane is coming from the Caribbean, it's going to make a turn on Florida. Trump said no. It's going over Mississippi, and it's then going over New Orleans. And he take his magic marker and he does that. I don't think Gotti would have done that. He would have to listen to Al Walker and agree with him. He would never do that. Why did Trump do that? To get himself attention or to move people from another bad thing that he's doing, and that's what he's been doing for the past 4 years. He's been running this country like a pickpocket. That means he tap you over here, meanwhile he's taking your wallet on this side. So you paying attention to this, meanwhile he already got your wallet on that pocket. Now Donald, if you're listening, tell me I'm wrong. Okay? Okay? And this is what this man been doing. And that's why I'm telling you, the good people of the United States are not gonna go for that. They're not gonna vote for Trump. Trump is out, and he knows that. Why do you think he's messing with the post office? Because he knows people are not gonna vote him in a second time. And he's gonna go what? Back to his bankrupt businesses. Once he's no longer president, believe me, you can see how many. You think he had 6 bankruptcies before he become president. Watch what happened when he no longer president. Because he was such a bad president that people, it's just like recently there was a guy, Goya, who supported Trump, and you see people was ready to boycott. Now, and that was a guy who support Trump. And I love Goya because I like their food. And Goya, I did some business with this company, and they do a lot of things in the West Indian community, even though this man supported Trump. But he's a good man, and I respect him. I would never boycott his company. Even though Trump wanted... Listen to this. Did you remember recently Trump wanted people to boycott one of the biggest tire company in the United States? Goodyear Tire? Because they didn't want people to wear the Trump t-shirts and hats. Goodyear. You know how many? This company been there since the Industrial Revolution in the United States. You know how many people they employ? And a lot of them are Trump. He wanted people to boycott them. He said he's going to remove those tires in Air Force One. Because it's all about him. If this man could understand democracy, in a democracy, this country really is a republic. I don't want to call it. It's not really a democracy because it's a republic. That means what we have a representative democracy in the United States. So you elect people to represent you, because otherwise, if you had the real democracy they had in Greece, then everybody would have to vote for everything. But you elect people, they're congressmen, you have senators, and those people, they go to Washington and they represent you. So Trump is actually working for you. He's not your boss. But believe me, he don't think so. You hire him, you pay him. He's like the guy you want him to clean your car. Okay, you give him, you pay your taxes. You send him to the supermarket so he could cook for you. And you pay his salary. That White House belongs to you. Okay? But he don't think so. He think he's your father. He's your boss. Even if you disagree with something he's doing, he's not listening to you. Because it's all about him. So I could tell you that Trump don't even understand democracy. And this thing he was doing, telling people not to vote or to vote twice, it's illegal. So he's also criminal. And all these people who's dead with the COVID, believe me, and I know this country probably gonna give him a parachute when he no longer president, where people cannot sue him. But I think people should sue his business interests, which he probably gonna have to put in those kids' name or whatever. But people should follow that. especially those supporters of his who end up dead from going to those rallies. They should do something about it. And you should, and this, I'm sure a lot of lawyers, district attorneys, and attorney generals in every state are working on those things. But they know they cannot say anything about them right now because Trump would give himself immunity. And he probably going to get some immunity being that he was the president. But no doubt, you probably could grab Mar-a-Lago for losing a family member. And the family of Herman Cain, they should get something. And all these other people, because every day he's having, he's there today as we speak. He went to California and he's going to be at the airport standing in front of Air Force One, which is your plane, not his plane. Because he had an airline, that shit went out of business. Word up. So this is your plane, Air Force One. That's not his plane. And he's not supposed to campaign like that, but he's doing it. Okay? So I don't know if I change your mind if you're afraid of the bully. The bully is on his way out. And he already got the memo. So this is his last dance. Everything you see him doing right now, he's doing them because that's it. It's over. And don't be surprised after he left the White House, the first shoe that dropped is his wife giving him a divorce. Because maybe she didn't know all these bad things that she know now. She didn't know him the way she know him now. And she's an immigrant just like me from another country. Oh man. Anyway. Okay, people, I'm not going to make it any longer. Okay, I want you to have a nice Sunday. And believe me, if you had a weight on your shoulder thinking that Trump is going to be reelected, I wanted to come and reassure you the party is over for Trump. He's gone. He's not going to be reelected. It's not going to happen. And if he did it illegally, he's going to get caught. This is not the first term. That's the second term. Because after this election, everybody's going to turn against him anyway. Even if because he's going to be a lame duck president. So even Graham and all these guys you see, Marco Rubio, all those guys, they all, because at this point, they're going to have to stand up and get ready for after Trump. Okay? So even if he was reelected, if he is reelected, it's going to be even worse for him. Because he better off losing the election than being reelected and then have to be leaving the White House in handcuffs. Okay? Thank you very much for putting the attention, for giving me your time for your time, and see you next time, America. I love you. God bless America, the greatest country in the world. And we learned we pay for this lesson, and we'll know better. We'll never have to elect somebody like that again. And especially when they come and say, I'm not a politician. I'm coming here to clean the swamp. This man built the biggest swamp in Washington. Okay? Thank you. Have a nice day.